All over the country today, people were protesting outside of Planned Parenthood locations over recent videos claiming the nonprofit was selling aborted fetal tissue for profit. Even here in Mishawaka, some were out today to let their opinions be known. News Center 16's Sean Gallagher is in the studio now. And Sean, these kinds of protests are nothing new to Planned Parenthood.
Yeah, that's for sure, Joel. Nearly every day, Planned Parenthood locations all across the country have pro-life and pro-choice protesters outside of their facilities, flexing those freedom of assembly muscles. But no matter which side of the abortion conversation you sit, some of these protesters are ill-informed and making national headlines with false information.
For the protocols that require later gestational tissue.
This video, released in July by an anti-abortion group, apparently shows a Planned Parenthood executive explaining how the nonprofit sells, quote, baby parts. And it's this video that spurred protests across the nation on Saturday, and even right here in Mishawaka.
We definitely want to see Planned Parenthood Federation of America investigated federally and defunded federally. We're tired of our taxpayer dollars going to this illicit activity.
However, Indiana's Planned Parenthood locations were investigated and there was no evidence of any wrongdoing. And while the Mishawaka location does not offer abortions, those protesting today are in fear that it could make its way to Mishawaka.
We feel Planned Parenthood can't be trusted, and we certainly do not want them to expand into abortions here in our area. So that's why we're taking a stance. A lot of people don't even know we have Planned Parenthood in our area. So we're here to let them know and to say that we don't think it's good for our community.
But the number of abortions performed in Indiana last year show no indication of expansion. Only 7% of Planned Parenthood's patients got abortions. The other 93%, they came in for preventative cancer screenings, contraceptives, STD testing, and general wellness exams, with a majority of these patients, 71% in fact, at or below 150% of the poverty line. So to defund Planned Parenthood could cause headaches to the majority of people going for things other than abortion.
I get my birth control for there from every month, and I do appreciate not being pregnant and, having to raise a baby on welfare. That helps very much. I wouldn't know what to do because birth control is so expensive nowadays, so I go to Planned Parenthood and get my birth control, and I don't know what I'd do without it, honestly.
And Planned Parenthood declined an interview about today's protest, but released this statement. Protests at our health centers are nothing new. Safety of our patients is our top priority, and we have security measures in place to ensure our patients and employees remain safe. Protests have not interrupted services at any of our Indiana or Kentucky health centers. And Planned Parenthood isn't just for women, actually. A small percentage of their patients are actually men coming in for STD testing and treatment and wellness exams as well, Joel.
So, Sean, of course, the accusations of selling of the supposed baby parts, is that anything that they're in fact doing?
No, not at all. There have been several national news outlets that have debunked this harvesting and selling of baby parts. Only 2 states actually allow the donation of fetal tissue, California and Washington respectively. And those states, they need the patient's consent entirely. And the idea that they're making money off of this practice is also unfounded. Several national news sources say that they'd be surprised if they were breaking even with this process, because the money that it costs to do it is just for the process of actually extracting everything for this.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Sean. We have